and welcome back. We are on episode 4 now of this Helping Hand series, Transforming This Mama's House. If you missed the first 3 episodes, that went over cleaning, decluttering, and organizing her family living area, her kitchen, and then doing a mini makeover as well. Today, we are working on her bedroom, going and just decluttering all the clothes and everything in her bedroom, trying to give her a peaceful oasis to go with her and her husband. So I'm super excited to get that done today. I think after this there's only one more episode of areas that need to be done in her house, and that's going to be her older son's room. So that I think will be the next area we tackle. But then after that, I am on a mission to find a new house and new family to help out. If it's another mama that is just feeling overwhelmed, or an elderly family. I definitely feel like the bedroom is often one of the biggest neglected rooms, but also the most underappreciated rooms. I know often when you go into your room, it's like, you know what, I can just throw it in there, close the door, not even think about it. But I have learned, especially being a mom, taking care of your own space is so beneficial when it comes to your mental health. It's a space that you can come, get away from the kids every once in a while, and no, it's not bad to say you need a little bit of a break. And relax. And if you're anything like me, you can't relax in a cluttered and messy space. Now, I was super excited because her husband had actually the night before gone through a lot of his stuff. So that made our process today much easier. With him being at work and everything, it wouldn't have been able to go through his stuff really at all. But we were able to take a big chunk out of this room right away in the morning, since he had already gone through that process. Now, let me know in the comments below, how many of you have clothes in your closet from middle school or high school? I was definitely a culprit of this for many years. Those outfits that you're like, maybe one day I'll get back into them. And I finally realized, even with my own stuff, I was like, you know what, even if I get to my high school weight, there's no reason I am going to wear this mini skirt or the dresses I wore to the clubs in my young 20s now in my 30s. So, same situation here at this mama's house. She was saying how she had clothes from middle school, but she was so motivated to finally let it all go. Now, if you are just getting started with decluttering, use the 3-second rule, because when you are first getting out, it can be very difficult. However, if you use the 3-second rule, and I will explain what that is, basically look at an item, do not hold it for more than 3 seconds. If you have to think about it for more than 3 seconds, let it be a yes. Get rid of that pressure of having to let go, and just do the automatic get rid ofs right away. That'll just start your momentum to decluttering. And I promise, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Now, like I said earlier, this is episode 4. So we have done a ton of decluttering in this mama's house already. So she already has that decluttering bug of seeing the rest of her house just become peaceful and calm and so much easier to maintain. So she was just killing it today. We were just knocking it out one section at a time. I mentioned to her how it's nice to section off the room so that you're not bouncing from one area to the next, and focus on one project at a time. Now, in this situation, there's 2 of us, and especially having someone from the outside helping makes this process go a lot faster. So if you are doing it on your own, don't feel like you have to do this all in one day. I made a video a while back of saying KonMari lied to us. And now a lot of people took that the wrong way. But basically what I was trying to say is the KonMari method is not for most of us. Some of us, sure, but for most of us, it's way too overwhelming to pull everything of one category out and go through the whole thing. The just mess of it being everywhere can be so overwhelming. So I like to do it in sections for multiple reasons. One, you can stay focused. And I feel like staying focused in big projects is the biggest thing for success. If you start getting distracted and jumping from one area to the next, it slows down the whole process. So staying focused. But then two, you see the progress. When you jump from section to section to section, it's very easy to feel like nothing got taken care of. By staying in one area and just tackling that one section at a time, when you're done, you can really see how much you were able to get rid of.
You pull me up when I'm falling down. Hey, now look into my eyes. You can use them as a mirror, baby. You're my ticket to paradise. Hey, now everything's alright. We've been longing for each other, and it feels.
Now, if you are new here, I just want to say welcome and hello. My name is Cambria. I am a mama of four, and this is my Helping Hand series where I go to someone else's house and help them in some way clean, declutter, organize their home. So I have been at this house now for 4 weeks, helping her out throughout the house, and oh my goodness, she has done amazing. However, I do have one big rule here on my channel when it comes to my Helping Hand series, and we are going back to kindergarten with this one of if you don't have anything nice to say, please don't say it. This series is all about helping someone, and I feel like in today's society it's so easy to quickly judge someone on how they're living, what their house looks like, and all these things. And unfortunately, that makes it really hard for people then to reach out and ask for help when they're trying to better themselves. So if you don't have anything nice to say, please don't say anything at all because I will have to block you. It is my one key rule here on my channel when it comes to my Helping Hands series. But I hope this video motivates you, especially if you might be in this situation and you're watching this because it's relatable to you. Often we want to watch videos because they are so relatable. And it's one of the reasons I love this series is I know in my house, it's pretty organized and put together already. And I feel like I can give you a lot of helpful hints of how I've gotten to where I am in life. But coming to other people's houses, this can a lot of times just bring normalcy to someone that can relate to this. So if you are in the need for some motivation and just that kick in the butt to get started, I hope this video is going to help you out. Let me know if you have any questions that I can help answer also in the comments below. But our big goal here is, as you can see, she had 3 of the tall dressers in here. So we really wanted to get rid of at least one of those dressers to really open up the space. Yes, does she have room for the furniture? She does. But I feel like when it comes to decluttering, also keeping in mind decluttering the actual furniture items and visually decluttering can make a huge difference. Often we don't think about the visual clutter, and that's something that when you are walking into a space will right away set your mood for the day. But as you saw, we were able to get everything out of that one dresser, and I was very confident that we were able to downsize even more. But I do want to take a quick second and thank the sponsor of today's video, Bark. Did you know that it is National Pet Month? It is the perfect time to celebrate your furry and feathery friends. And I have great news. Bark toys and treats are now available at Target. Bark is awesome because they make super durable toys, whether you have a super chewer like we do or a pup that just likes to snuggle. And their treats are crazy nutritious as well as super delicious. So if you want to keep your pups happy, healthy, and entertained, head over to Target and get some healthy treats and super fun toys for your furry friends. Celebrate National Pet Month with toys and treats that'll make your furry friends' tails wag. Head over to Target and get yours today. Also, a huge thanks to Bark for sponsoring today's video. Happy Pet Month! I always really appreciate our sponsors and you guys supporting me when I do have sponsored content. That is one of the ways that I am able to do these free Helping Hand series videos. So big thank you to Bark and thank you to you guys always supporting me and my sponsored content.
Looks in my eyes, and I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country, yeah, she's my country girl. She's a little bit country, yeah, she's my country girl. Guitar.
Now, I mentioned before how I'm not a fan of the Marie Kondo decluttering method. However, I will say one thing I do love about Marie is her folding method. It is game changer, and I realize it can be a little bit more tedious, but if you have dressers in your house and they're stuffed to the brim and you're just trying to figure out, I highly recommend giving her folding method a try. One, actually being able to visually see everything you do does a lot of good. First, it makes it where there's actually a lot more space when you fold it this way. But two, next time you declutter, you're gonna have a much better idea of what you actually grabbed for and what you didn't. Like I said, decluttering is not one and done. You don't have to get it done all in one shot. Those items that you couldn't make quick, fast decisions on, those are things that you can come back 3-4 weeks from now, even a couple months from now, and go through them again. And I feel like after the first decluttering process, it makes the next times so much easier. And by folding it this way, a lot easier because you now know what you used and did not use. Another big trick for your next go around is anything that is hanging, I want you to, every time you wear something, reverse the hanger. So hang it backwards. I find this to be easier because I don't constantly want to be turning it the reverse way, especially if it's something I wear. I'm probably going to wear it multiple times. So hang all your hangers reversed. And then as you wear things, you're going to hang them back up the correct way. That way, when you come back in however long you give yourself, you have a very clear, precise view of what you wore and what you did not. Now, we were talking, and I do realize there are certain things that just don't get worn on a regular basis. For me, I have a little black dress. Love that little black dress, and you know what? It is perfect for so many different occasions. I can dress it up for date night. I can dress it down for a funeral. I can dress it more holiday for holiday get-togethers. Like, it's very versatile, but I don't wear it on a regular basis. But I will never get rid of it because you never know the occasion that's going to come up that you do need that little black dress. But when it comes to like day-to-day items, you're going to find that these are items that you may not wear. Now, if you take something out of the closet and try it on, but don't wear it that day because you don't like the way you look in it, I challenge you to have a donation bin in your closet and get rid of it right that second. If you put it on and you weren't feeling it, get rid of it, because if you weren't feeling it today, you're probably not going to feel it next time you pull it out.
We've been fighting forever, gone over this.
So I would love to know what you struggle with the most when it comes to decluttering. I'm sure we all have like different things that we struggle with. For me, it often is kitchen items. And it's because some gadgets, even though I may not use them on a regular basis, they still really come in handy when I do use them. However, I have been getting more and more into self-sufficient living and everything. Actually, just on, what was it, Saturday, my mom, my dad, myself, and Bobby went and looked at some properties. We are not like really, really looking at properties. We're kind of doing it of if we find the right property, we will move. But otherwise, we're not like we have to move today type situation. So we have been looking at different properties. And the big reason is we do want to have land to be more self-sufficient, have more animals, have more gardens, things like that. And if you follow us on our family vlog channel, you're actually going to get to see some of those properties we looked at. We looked at one property. Oh my goodness, it was like a fairy tale. It was stunning. Like little pathways, and throughout those pathways was just covered in fruit trees. We had guava and banana trees and citrus trees, like everything you could imagine. They had a huge vegetable garden, but it wasn't very practical for our family. It didn't have a really good house on it that would have worked for Bobby, me, and the kids. The house for my parents, as cute as it was, absolutely a darling type house, wasn't very practical for my parents, and not very practical to have animals on the land. And that was one thing we really, really want to have the ability to have more ducks and chickens and cows and pigs and rabbits and all of these things. So as beautiful as it was definitely more of an inspiration type property of, okay, we love this look. So we definitely want to make sure that in whatever land we get, we have abundance of fruit trees and vegetable gardens and just this beautiful property like this one. But like I said, we're going to share that on our family vlog channel. But it was so cool to see. We're actually going to look at some more properties. Actually, today, when you are seeing this video, now I'm doing the voiceover the day before, so technically it's tomorrow, but you're seeing it today. So yeah, looking at a couple more properties, just getting our feelers out there of what's available. We definitely don't feel like we need a big, huge, crazy mansion. We would definitely rather have a smaller house with more land than a big house and not a lot of property. So yeah, just another adventure that we're looking into. But like I said, we don't know when. It could be tomorrow. We may find the dream property tomorrow. Or it could be another 2 years from now. That's kind of the phase that we're in, is when it's meant to be, if it's meant to be, it will be, but there's no rush on this situation. We also really like the idea of owning the property with my parents for the pure fact of they are getting older. And honestly, Bobby and my dad have lived very rough lives. They've been first responders, military, and we know usually men like that don't live as long as others. So my mom and I kind of look at it as eventually we're going to be two old ladies living on this land together. Now, when it comes to organization, I highly recommend really getting in tune with what your organization style is, because we're not all the same. And what's her name? Clutterbug? She has some really good insight on different organization. She has like different bugs. So like a ladybug, a butterfly, a bumblebee. She's got a couple different ones that she explains. But really what it is figuring out what works for you, what do you like, and what can you maintain. I feel like the maintaining part is like key here, because it's really easy to watch people like Ashley from Till Vacuum Do Us Part and be super motivated by how organized she is. Or what is it? Kylie? Is it Kylie? No, Khloe Kardashian. I know she's the one that's like super organized. There's also, oh, what are they? They have their brand at Target and Walmart. I can't think of them right now, but they're all about the rainbow organization. These are all people that it's great to take inspiration from, but we can't all be that type of organization. Like, we all have our own things. So I know I am someone that I love bins and baskets. Like, I want to be able to organize my things, but I'm not always going to make sure they're perfectly pretty organized and want to see them. So I like being able to say, okay, this is a bin for dog toys. I just throw the dog toys in there. You can't see through it. It's organized, but visually I don't need to make sure it's perfectly aesthetic. Now, when it comes to clothing, I tried the rainbow organization when it came to the clothing, and I do love it. I love the way the rainbow organization of clothing looks. However, I wasn't maintaining it real well. So I customized it to myself. And actually, you're going to see that here. I got to where I started doing just, okay, what are the main colors? Black, gray, whites and creams, things like that. And I would organize those into sections. Those were, in my house and in most people's houses, the biggest sections when it comes to color. You can also do it by style, but I often like to go by color first. And then I just kind of put the rest of the colors in one area. So I'm not as picky when it comes to the greens and the blues and the reds. Now, if there is a lot of one of those colors, like a lot of blues or a lot of reds, I will make a section for it. But I am a little bit more lax when it comes to those things. And I have found that that works better for me personally. So figure out which of those work for you. You can see I'm kind of pulling it here together. I'm explaining to her what I am doing when I am doing this. And in the end, they can kind of figure out what of these organization styles works best for them and that they can actually maintain. We did decide to hang up all of her jeans. She had a ton of jeans. We did get rid of some of them, but they were taking up so much space in the dresser. And this way, it's just a lot easier for her to see what she has, because she did say she wants to downsize them some more. So I'm like, okay, let's put them at eye level. That way you can see them, see what you wear, see what you don't. And your next go around of decluttering, it's going to be so much easier for you to go through them and figure out what you actually wore and what you didn't.
Looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now. Let's move closer to a new history, find out what we can be together. Take my hand and we will conquer the world. This is our final chance. 'Cause one day we'll be looking back at this. We were in a big mess together.
Now, when I do these projects, I am usually on a specific time frame. So I also try and focus on big impact areas. So I know in the past people have mentioned about under the bed and stuff and me not doing it. And it's because to me, under a bed is not a big impact area. Should it be done? Sure. Is it actually going to give you a big sense of relief when you walk into the room because you don't see the stuff that's already under the bed? It's not. So, not saying don't clean under your bed. I highly recommend cleaning under your bed, but I wouldn't start there. I would start in the areas that are going to make the biggest difference. That's also why we didn't start on this top shelf right away. The biggest impact area of this room was going to be the floor. Always the floor. For multiple reasons. One, it's the biggest flat surface in your room. And I always tell you guys, focus on flat surfaces. Those are going to make a huge impact. And like I said, your bed, your floor, those are going to be your biggest flat surface areas. If you're ever trying to figure out what those things are, look for big flat surfaces, and that's where you're going to get your wow impact. Now, the other reason is when things are on the floor, naturally that's going to give you a lot of anxiety, and it's your fight or flight reflex kicking in. When you see clutter on the floor, right away your brain thinks danger. It's something you can slip over. Who knows what's under all those clothes? It's natural to kind of have a fear of things on the floor because of a dangerous situation. So floor is always going to be number one. Then I usually like to move on to like dressers, because dressers are usually at eye level flat surfaces. So kind of like when you think of going into a grocery store, what do they put at eye level? It's all going to be those name brand expensive things, because that's what catches your attention the quickest of anything. So floor, bed, and then hitting those dressers makes a huge impact. And then depending on how much time you have, moving on and doing more. Like I said, I usually am on a limited time frame. The days that I was filming this, now school's almost over, which, oh my goodness, I'm so ready for school to be over. We have one more full week, and then they have off on Monday and go back Tuesday and Wednesday, which I am honestly wondering, why are we going back Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't know. I feel like they should end the school year on Friday, but not my rules, so I'm just living with it. But this is our last full week of school, and we are so ready for it. But when filming these videos, kids are still in school, so I would be gone for a couple hours, and then I tried to get home before Bjorn got out of school. That way I could pick him up, and Bobby didn't have to round up the girls, get them all in their car seats and everything into the school. So usually I had about 3 hours to tackle all of these different areas.
I'm not heading for the stars, driving down the boulevard at night. Playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by.
Now, one area that we were really struggling with were these bins. So these were actually bins filled with a lot of stuff from her husband's late parents. And he's been struggling with them. So I just said, let's just put them in. We'll take things like photos and stuff like that out. Those are easy to store away, easy memorabilia, and just put it back in this bin. I realize that when it comes to stuff from people that had passed, that can be a struggle. So we are just going to organize it to the best of our ability, but allow him the time to go through it one bit at a time and slowly. That is something that can be a struggle, and I think it's very important to not burden yourself too much with it. So of everything in your house, if you can hold that off to last, one, get your decluttering juices flowing. The more you do it, the easier it is. But two, let those emotional things that will definitely put up roadblocks in your mind be one of the last things to do. Don't put those projects that are going to stop you in your tracks as one of your first things, because it's just natural that those are going to be more difficult. Now, I did want to kind of display, he's got a lot of like sportsman memorabilia and like wrestling and boxing stuff. So once we had the space up here, I wanted to kind of set it up so he could actually see a lot of the really cool autographs and stuff that he had more on display. The great thing about decluttering is it is going to give you the space and the visual space to actually display those things that you truly have a passion for and love. And I wanted to show her and him when he got home later that that is one thing that you can do the more you let go. Now your passions and your hobbies can be more on display and not just put to the side in some corner and hodgepodge like pile of things.
I'm not heading for the stars, driving down this boulevard tonight. Yeah. Playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
You guys are not going to believe the amount of bags and everything we got rid of by the end of this. It is insane, but I was so impressed with how much we were able to get out of such a small space.
Stumbling out of bed, and I still got you in my head from all those pretty words you said. It's like I'm wasted. Every time I see your face, I'm losing track of time and space. I don't know where I am. It's like I'm wasted, and I won't waste it. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind.
I know one of the hardest parts can be the idea of actually going through everything in your space. But I do highly recommend it. It's really easy when you're going through stuff. And that's also why I tell people to break it down, because especially when you start getting overwhelmed, you're not going to want to go through those little things, the little baskets in your closet or the little laundry basket on your floor. But you'll be surprised at how many little things are lingering within your house that you can actually get rid of. And I know like one little thing doesn't feel like a lot, but as you start this process, those little things add up so quickly, and the amount of space that you end up saving in the end is tremendous.
And I won't waste this. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever. And I won't waste this. I'll follow you.
Now, I say that because the big reason she was putting off going through this basket is it had a lot of her kids' clothes. And her and I are definitely alike. Little kids' clothes can be so overwhelming to go through. One, it's just the emotions of going through your kids' clothes and getting rid of them, realizing they have grown out of so many things. But also, they are tedious. Those clothes are so little, so a little basket like this seems like it shouldn't be that much, but in the end, it's always so much clothes to actually go through.
I will stand by you forever. And I won't waste this. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah.
And then I highly recommend after a huge clean like this to take the time not to so much do a deep clean. If you have the energy to deep clean it, by means, go for it. But if you are not feeling motivated to deep clean, go in there and do a quick surface clean. So just make sure that all the garbage and things that you're getting rid of is pulled out, and do a quick wipe down, a quick vacuum, and a quick mop. And those things really set the space. Don't give yourself that little bit of leeway, because you've done all this work so far, and there's nothing better than feeling of walking into a room that's not only decluttered and organized, but also has that clean, fresh scent. So that is what we are doing here. We're just going through the last little things. We've pretty much done everything, but you know how it is. It often gets worse before it gets better, so there's just like random things all over the place that we have to clean up and put away and figure out homes for. So that is what we are doing at this moment. That way, when we're all done and I leave, she's got this space all done. But also, when her husband gets home from work, he can come home and really see what potential this room has.
You and I, we're trouble inside. Beating hearts don't lie. An empty page, a story to write. I'm in love, you're divine, and it's all in us.
Like always, her little boy was so cute during this whole process. He was very active for most of it. You will see that he did fall asleep for a little while, but that didn't last too long till he was up and at it again with us. But we were able to pretty much finish the room before he got up from a nap. He's definitely one of those kids that goes, and then just crashes. I was giggling so much because he was just on a roll. But when those sleepy eyes hit, he was out. All right, well, we are almost done here, and we're going to come up with those before and afters, which you guys know are my absolute favorite part.
Burning bright in my heart, we're going away. Get your bag, check the tag. Decision is made. Lock your door, need no more. It's already paid. Cancel your mail for a while. It's a journey for life, and I'm your ride. Hang on, we'll be long gone. Hang on, I cannot go wrong. We're going away. Get your back, check the tag. A journey for life, and it's already paid. Cancel your mail for a while. It's a journey for life, and I'm alright. Hang on, we'll be long gone. Hang on, I cannot go wrong. Hang on.
All right, I am tired after all of that, but we got so much done. She let go of so much stuff. Her husband had actually already worked on a large portion of his stuff last night, which was great. We were able to get that stuff out of the room right away and then just dig into everything that she had. We were able to eliminate an entire dresser, which I feel like when you're working in a small space, that's huge. I let her know. I'm like, honestly, clothes decluttering, I think, has to be the most freeing declutter that I have ever done. Like, once I got to a point of, I don't need all this stuff. My wardrobe is like the same 10 outfits over and over and over again. It makes life so much easier, and like I said, it's just so much more freeing to wake up in the morning and not be overwhelmed by choices. If you haven't done it yet, I highly recommend. And don't feel like you have to do it all at once. This is not a situation of a sprint. It's a marathon. You can do a little now, a little in 6 months from now. It took me probably 3 years of slowly working my wardrobe down further and further and further to get to where I am today, and just truly feeling just like free from all the stuff and decision making and all of those things. So highly recommend doing that. But if you've made it this far, drop this emoji down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and if you're new here, I would love if you would subscribe. I do these helping hand videos as well as makeover videos and organization and tips and trick videos, all sorts of anything to get you motivated and just help you with your day-to-day life. But I'm on my way home. I'm gonna go pick up Bjorn from school, and I'll see you next time. Bye.